Yeah, Salakia, that was Satan, messing up my recording. Satan always in the midst of something. Once again, what's the lesson about? The lesson is about polarity, duality, So we see here, try to get into the lesson, which is on the good spectrum, of duality. And then here you have Satan on the opposite end, try to do his part. So during this lesson, Satan just proving my point, that there's polarity or duality, within the world and pertaining into the scriptures. That's why we have it, So, hey, that's a great example. So, thank you for that, Satan. Fuck out of here. But, anyway, so all the glory to the Most High, anyway, man. It says, polarity, the property of having poles or being polar, the relative orientation of poles, the direction of a magnetic or electric field, the state of having two opposite or contradictory tendencies, opinions, uh, or aspects. Um, let me see more. The property or characteristic that produces unequal physical effects at different points in the body or system as a magnet or storage battery. B, the positive or negative state in which the body reacts to a magnetic, electric, or other field. The presence or manifestation. Okay, so that's the point that we want to get into is pretty much the second uh, definition, of this polarity. The positive or negative state which a body reacts to a magnetic, electric, or other field, because in certain essences of like how it says in the first definition, the unequal, physical effects, of different points of the in the body or system as a magnet or storage battery, that's two opposites, which creates a false, um, which creates that false balance, But we looking at it, as a positive versus a negative, within these instances in which I'm bringing out. Oh, it's like I meant to get to duality. Uh, yeah, now it says duality. It says the quality or condition of being dual. Let me get straight to the point. Number two, it says an instance of opposition or contrast between two concepts or two aspects of something. A dualism, because in essence, when you look at how it's going into polarity, technically it goes into, the opposites, but you also have that side of the polarity because you have two poles. So it's about two poles. So it's still showing you, the fact of that you have two sides, two things, and that it's not just one. So the essence of everything is that it has to be two sides to maintain, um, that balance, Um, okay, so we said, as it said, an instance of opposition or contrast between two concepts or two aspects of something, you know, and we see it every day in our life. We see the sunshine, we see the rain, we see life, we see death, so on and so forth. And the Lord stated this in Deuteronomy, you know. So Deuteronomy 30 and 19, and it says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Okay, so we have more instances of duality. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. So we choose life, we choose the scriptures, and with that we choose the blessings. But when a person chooses death, that's considered what a 2/3. You go in your own mind frame. You ultimately choosing death. You choosing to bring more curses upon you by not following in suit with how the Most High set everything. And this is a pretty easy concept to understand, and for something basic to bring out, in essence of dealing with, people or the churches or someone that just lacks understanding about the scriptures, And it's the book of Isaiah 45 and 45 and 7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So this concept of polarity, duality, all these things, all these concepts come from the essence of what the Lord created and how the Lord created the foundations of the earth. That you can't have the one without the other. That's why the Lord had to have, a spiritual demon, Satan, to seem as that counterpart. But the world takes it as Satan is completely contrary to the Most High. In essence, he's just a creature to create that space of dualism within the world so that people have essentially the choice, which, technically we know there's no freedom of choice and stuff. Everything is all destined and, laid out, so on and so forth. But in the essence of the worldly mind, person thoughts, you have that essence of choice there, whether you want to choose the light or the darkness, so on and so forth, And that's why, of course, going into the book of Job, that's why when the Lord spoke to Satan, he asked him, what were you doing? You know what I'm saying? And Satan made an offer to the Most High that he couldn't refuse. But the Most High did what? He sanctioned, for Satan to touch Job, but not to take his life, which goes to show that the Most High still has the possession of his creature, that Satan is just not running freely on his own in complete separation from the Most High, but he is a creature of the Most High, and the Most High still controls him, Was that it? Yeah, I believe that was the essence of the lesson. I just wanted to bring out something, just a light topic, just to edify those, that don't quite have understanding on basic concepts, such as this, and why the Most High created them. And ultimately, it's, for his elect, to separate the chaff from the wheat, and to separate those who are willing to serve him and those who are not willing to serve him. That's what it all boils down to. And those that will stand stiffly for his name and proclaim his ordinances throughout the earth. That's matter of fact, that made me think of Psalms 94 real quick before I wrap this up. So Psalms 94 and was it 6? Yeah, Psalms 94 and 16. It says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? So, the Most High had to have someone to stand up for him within this world when everything about this world is dwelling in darkness, you know? So he set forth, his people here, Israelites, and more importantly, YAHAWASHI, to be that light to shine through the midst of this hell, and we are those pillars of light in whom the Most High set forth, to do so, and this is what we do. So I just hope this short segment was edifying, and I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bashim Yahushua, the one to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Yahawah Bashim Yahushua, Wahakudash Rakah, Barakatah, to the elect out there doing this work of faith and live with love, true sincerity. Shalawam.